everyone, it's Sandy here. I just wanted to come on and share my process video for the first project that I created with the February limited edition kit from My Creative Scrapbook. This kit is radically different from last month's limited edition kit, which was full of kind of a wintry palette and beautiful images. So this month in February, we're going to go bright and bold. We're going to be using 49 Market's Birdsong collection and Prima Marketing flowers. So here you're going to see that I've chosen a photograph that's actually an AI generation from a gentleman called Jonas Peterson, or that's the go by name anyway, and he uses bold colors to create images, and he seems to spend some significant amount of time also using older people in these images and putting them in bold, bright clothing and that sort of thing, as well as a lot of other kind of work that he does. But anyway, I had saved this photograph and thought it would be really perfect to go with this particular paper with the florals at the bottom. This one is called Midnight Concerto. On the back side is the page with all the butterflies that I had mentioned would be good for fussy cutting if you wanted to do that. So I did sacrifice, all those butterflies just so I could use this piece of paper with the floral at the bottom. What you don't see on camera is the time spent in going through the kit and separating the papers into what I think are going to be, 4 different projects. And then I divide up my flowers and put those with the papers and photographs that I think they're going to go with. And then I do that to some extent with embellishments usually, but this month I pretty much kept like the ephemera and then the laser cut pieces, all together until I was actually in creation mode. But here you can see that I've adhered my photograph to one of the frame pieces that's from the ephemera pack. And I did adhere my photograph on top of that frame looking piece that's, on top. I did that because I knew I was going to build up multiple layers underneath. And so I kind of wanted to, just create that from the get-go and that everything be beneath the photograph. So I did also take another little striped edged piece and adhered that. I did want that to be kind of at an angle, so I adhered it kind of off, at a diagonal. And then I also had the other 2 pieces, and I spend a fair amount of time trying to position where I want these to be, on the paper, and then putting my flowers over to the left so I can know exactly where I'm going to be placing my photograph. And then I'm just, auditioning some different pieces there. But the 2 big pink florals are from 2 different packages. One of them is from the French Blue, and the other one is from, I think, from the Avec Amour packet. But I wanted to use the pink to go with his jacket and the florals that are in the paper, that hot pink there. Thought I wanted to use those, and I am using the little rosebuds that was in one of them, I think in the French Blue. But anyway, I do finally kind of commit to paper, if you will, but I'm putting that cardboard there to elevate my photograph on top of those 2. One's a note card, the other is the back side of one of the papers is the B side, but it's a navy blue and cream, and it looks really good up against the navy blue paper when you see it in real life. It doesn't come across in the screen, on the screen as being quite so meaningful, but it really is a pretty paper. And there I'm just using my T-square to kind of get an idea if my eye is correct in lining up my photograph, because I've got so many different pieces underneath, and then that first layer underneath the photograph is kind of part of it's at an angle, part of it's straight. So I was just trying to get that as straight as I could, before I commit to glue, if you will. And then, I'm going to be adding in a couple of those tickets into my floral cluster. I had seen some other designers do that, and I thought that was kind of a neat addition to a floral cluster, so I did that this month. And then I put some corrugated cardboard underneath all the papers and that whole cluster there, and I'm going to set him down. And then, then I'm going to pull out that T-square and just make sure that within my eye that I've got it on there as good as I can, because I can't really use my laser light for this one because it's so elevated that I don't think I would get a true reading on whether it's straight or not. So I spent some time doing that. This time I'm doing my video at, I've sped it up a little bit, but it's at 2 times instead of at 3 times. And so it seems a little bit more realistic. So maybe in the comments you can let me know whether you like for it to be faster, so you could just, get a quick glimpse of what's going on, or whether you like me to have it, a little slower so that, you can really see what's going on. On the floral, you saw me kind of twisting it there, but to me, it looked better at one angle than another, so I was just trying to position it to where the top and the bottom was what was pleasing to my eye. And I do have some glue there, but what I opted to do was to try to let it dry, and then I had planned to kind of come back with my gum adhesive eraser and, just get that little bit that might be there. But then I was also kind of waiting to see if I filled in with florals or whatever, which I ultimately did, although I did come back with that gum eraser off camera and got that little bit of glue there that you see by my pink florals. I did have some on my desk too, but I had to get rid of that so I wouldn't ruin another shirt. Anyway, I'm using my Beacons 3-in-1 glue to adhere my florals, and they do take some time to dry, but that's good for me usually because I usually do a little bit of repositioning with everything, but I am holding on to those tickets for a minute just so I won't lose them. And then I have the buds down below, and here I'm tucking in one of the silk leaves up above. I'm not sure whether I caught it on camera or not, but I did use another of those leaves down below, and along with a laser floral and then some pearls, and that ultimately kind of gets rid of any kind of glare or anything that was on the paper. And there I'm just auditioning some of the laser pieces that I had thought would, work. I had kind of laid this layout together, or put it together and mentally, the night before. And then I got up one morning and I started, going ahead and putting everything together. And that's one of the florals, but I thought I would add them to the mix and put one going downward and one going upward, and I think there's actually 3 of those pieces, and so one of them I save for another project. But I do use the larger laser bits, which are going to be coming into play here in a minute, that are going to be on the right hand side, and some of those are really pretty, and they're larger and sturdier. One thing I would say about the laser cuts is this month, be really careful with your laser pieces when you're removing them from the packaging. Some of them are very fragile. They're stems and that kind of thing, so you'll just want to be cautious that you don't, inadvertently break any of your flowers. Although, it's really not a game changer in the end because there's enough that it really looks nice. So I'm auditioning that one piece up there to the left to kind of mix in with the silk florals to see how that looks. And then, I'm trying them over on the right as well. And that's the one I go with right there. And I'm kind of going back and forth today between my art glitter glue and the beacons glue, but when I want it to dry fast, I'm definitely using the art glitter glue. And I use that on those laser cuts because the laser cuts are so small. And that floral there, you know, it matches pretty well. It's maybe a little more color than the gentleman's coat, but it's a nice match. And here I'm playing with that little bird on a branch and got some golden leaves. I thought that would be really cute to perch there on the corner and be part of my embellishment. And so I go ahead and I put that nice leafy piece down and take a look at it, make sure I have it where I want. And then I've got the little piece that says you can feel the joy, and I'm calling this page Feel the Joy. And I use a little bit of vintage photo distress ink to ink the edges. And then I put the bird down first, but I'm going to pop the bird up on some foam squares. And I do have to cut some tiny pieces because I ran out of my 1/4 inch. But I can use scissors and cut them apart, so that's what I do. And there I think I'm just kind of deciding if that's where it is. And then I do get a second foam piece to put on the leaf so it'll all be secure. And it's just, you know, there's a tiny little slim vine or branch there that I didn't want to break, so I was being really careful with that. And that's why I definitely used multiple foam squares so nothing would move around. And then I remove the covers and put them down. And then I'm going to be placing my title across the bird. But there, you know, I wanted him to show up a little bit more, I guess. And, you know, I added some vintage photo to him so he might pop up a little better. In real life, you can see him pretty good. He's cut because it's, you know, 3-dimensional because it's on the foam square. And then I put some foam squares on the back side of the title piece and position it right there across his little feet. And I think it looks really nice. This is really a very simple layout. It's just, you know, multiple layers under the photo and adding some, you know, florals on the left. There's a couple of tickets you can see, and one of them is green, one of them is yellow. I usually staple my tickets together when I'm using them in clusters, but on this case, I think I just glued them together and then cut them. And actually, I did come back after I was finished when I was actually photographing my layout, and I trimmed the ticket a little bit shorter than what it looks right here. I felt like it was just a little bit too long, and so I trimmed it down just a little bit and then put it back. And like I was saying, this is simple. I've got 3 laser cut butterflies that I'm going to be putting on the right hand side of the page. You know, there's a little bit of the greenery that I've positioned, you know, and tucked there, you know, back behind all my frames on the right. And then, you know, I do some paint splattering. I add some art stones and pearls, and really that's just about it for this project. But, you know, like I said, I was transitioning from that calm, cool, calm and wintry paper collection that we used last month, and I was just getting up the nerve to be bright and beautiful this month. But anyway, the butterflies are lovely, and I really intended to cut some out of some of the papers, but I ended up not doing that. And, you know, you'll be seeing more projects soon, and I'll be sharing with you what I did on those. And I do adhere my butterflies on foam squares so I can kind of elevate their wings a little bit. And so they're, you know, look more dimensional. As I mentioned before, I really do like dimension on my pages. And yes, they do still go in page protectors. Here I'm getting ready to go ahead and do my white paint splatters, and this time I'm using some Distress Picket Fence. It's already white, and it does tone down after it dries, but I thought that would be quick and easy this month. Off camera, I do add, as I said, a few art stones and a few flat back pearls in kind of a peachy color. And that was really it for this month. For this particular layout. You can see I added a silk leaf down there below the pink florals, and there's the close-ups. Down below, you'll see details on how to order a kit. I sure do appreciate you coming by today, and please visit mycreativescrapbook.com and see everything that the Kit Club has to offer. We'd love to see your projects in our Facebook group as well. See you next time.